Let's take a look at problem number 4. This is dividing rational expressions. So let's refresh our memory on how to divide. Dividing rational expressions. Step 1. Rewrite as multiplication by flipping the fraction following the division symbol. Take a reciprocal of it. Step 2, factor everything. Step 3, cancel if possible. Only guideline is 1 is on top and 1 is on the bottom, and they are exactly the same. Step 4. Now here's the kind of tricky part. Typically in books this is written like multiply the top parts together, multiply the bottom parts together, but a lot of times they don't actually multiply them together, they just put them next to each other. So I'm going to say put the tops next to each other and bottoms next to each other, numerator denominator, in a single fraction. So I think this is probably the most popular one in books, though they do different things, different books. So let's take a look at this problem. Now this problem is so simple that a lot of these steps we won't have to do, but let's see, x plus 2 over x minus 2 divided by x squared minus 4 over 2 minus x. Okay, first thing we'll do, rewrite as multiplication by flipping the fraction following the division symbol. So this is step 1. X plus 2 over x minus 2 times 2 minus x over x squared minus 4. Okay, step 2, factor everything. Well, this bottom part here, two terms of minusing it is a difference 2 squares. This top part is the wrong order. It's not in standard form. These first two I can't do anything with. So I got x plus 2 over x minus 2 times negative x plus 2. Now x squared minus 4, if I wrote over here on the side, two terms of minusing it, we try to write it as something squared minus something else squared. And you ask yourself what times itself would give you this. Well, x times x will give you the x squared, and 2 times 2 will give you the 4. If we're able to write it as something squared minus something else squared, we take what's inside our first parentheses, we add what's in our last, and you take what's inside your first and you subtract what's in your last. So it factors that way. Now that we already said our first fraction we can't do anything with, this part's done, but the top part I can factor out of GCF. GCF says if your first term's negative, always factor out a negative. So I got x plus 2 over x minus 2 times negative 1 times x minus 2. When you factor out a negative 1, it flips the sign of everything. Okay, so step 3, cancel if possible. Only guideline is one's on top, one's on the bottom, and they are exactly the same. Well, here's an x plus 2 and here's an x plus 2. So those are going to cancel each other. Here's an x minus 2 and here's an x minus 2. They don't have to be in the same fraction. They can be, but the only guideline is one's on top, one's on the bottom. Now nothing else will cancel. So let's see, we've got negative 1 on top and x minus 2 down below. Now we don't have to do the last step because, well, it's as simple as it can get. So let's see which one we have. They put the negative back down below. I hate that. That's not in standard form, but oh well. What they did is they take that negative, they put it back downstairs, like that. And then they take that negative and multiply it through. It's like a negative 1 here, remember? So this becomes 1 over negative x plus 2, which is 1 over 2 minus x. And that's our answer. D.